which might give us a fighting chance. Let's put our heads together and figure out how to use what you learned. My father be damned.
Well, we killed Tizzy. I'm glad he's dead because I don't like saying his name at all. It brought back a map. Enemies called itself the Grey Host.
The Grey Host? Where have I heard that name? Meanwhile, my father rounded up the Herald and moved his soldiers to the outer walls. Then he ordered the quartermaster to stockpile Castle Dower. He's preparing Solitude to withstand a long siege.
You don't agree with that approach, though?
That might work against a mob of Reachmen, but thick walls can't stop a Herostorm. Any war we try to wage will be over before it starts if we don't find a way to stop them. Fen knows more about the storms than anyone. See what he suggests.
Alright, let's talk to Fen then.
Talk to Fen. If he has any bright ideas, I'd love to hear them. Magister Fridelia has been studying the Ice Reach Coven medallion, but she hasn't had a lot of success. She seems even less confident about reproducing their protective enchantment now.
What did Magister learn about them?
She identified necromantic components as part of the enchantment, as well as reach rituals. But she isn't an expert on either type of magic. Frankly, I think she's exhausted the scope of her knowledge.
We didn't accomplish anything while we're rescuing Fen?
You mean other than hounding my father and serving as go-between for the Jarl of Morthal and the Magister of Carthald? I wrangled promises out of my father and showed our allies that someone in Solitude still cares.
What kind of promise?
I got High King Svargrim to promise to dispatch soldiers to reinforce Morthal's defenses and send aid to Carthwatch. It's a start, but he hasn't actually issued the orders yet. I need to follow up with him after we're finished.
So he finally acknowledges there's a threat to the kingdom then, huh?
Sort of. He admits he might have been wrong about the Ice Reach Coven, as far as that goes. But he still glares daggers whenever anyone mentions you or Lyris. So let's not bring up Fen, alright?
Alright. Yes?
When you talk to Fen, go easy on him. He's been through a lot.
Let's interrogate Fen.
I'm ready to help.
Alright.
I know what you need me to do. Put my experience behind me. Focus on the mission, just like Verandis taught me. Could you show me the research you recovered from Exarch Ingolus' laboratory?
Found notes on werewolves and netherroot, and a potion made from netherroot and other ingredients.
These notes prove my theory. Netherroot is the key component of the Herostorm ritual. It's like a poison for the soul. Weakens the bonds to the body so it can be pulled free. They're harvesting life energy from anyone caught in the storms.
Why are they going to harvest the life energy, though?
I'm guessing, but it may have something to do with those stone husks we saw. Remember how the werewolf emerged from one? And look at the mixture you retrieved. It isn't like the residue we recovered from the witch pike. It's more concentrated.
So that's what they're using to make it stronger then, right?
It's certainly what Singolis' notes imply. Despite how it looks, a plan is formulating in my mind. I think I can create an elixir, but I'll need more of this refined netherroot brew. And we need to solve the mystery of the Coven medallions.
Alright. Anyone have an idea where we're gonna find this stuff, though?
I know what you need me to do. Put my experience behind me. Focus on the mission, just like Verandis taught me. Could you show me the research you recovered from Exarch Ingolus' laboratory?
Alright. Place.
See those marks? Grey Host sites that correspond to the communique we found. I know a commander's map when I see one. Each of those marks matches a location mentioned in the communique from Rada al-Saran, the leader of the Grey Host. I can already see where we need to go.
Where do you think we should look then?
That mark on the northwest coast, that's an Ice Reach Coven camp. The communique mentioned needing more medallions. Odds are, they come from there. And here, a Midland camp between Dragonbridge and Morthal. It's a staging ground for the Harrow Storms.
So that's where we're gonna find more. So that's where we're gonna find more refined nether brew then, right?
More than likely. Those two locations should provide what Fen needs to finish his elixir. We can't bet everything on that, though. The communique mentions a warlord's camp in Blackreach. Maybe we can learn more about their ultimate plan there.
Right, 3 camps. So it gets a lot of ground to cover then, right?
Savannah, Fen, and I will divvy up the camps and scout ahead. Fen should investigate the coastal camp. I'll take the Midlands camp. That leaves Savannah with Blackreach. Meet up with each of us when you're ready. Then we'll hit each camp in turn.
So what can we expect of these Grey Host camps?
We don't have a lot of solid details, just what we've pieced together from the Grey Host's notes and communique. But I'll answer your questions the best I can. Which camp did you want to ask about?
Midlands?
The Grey Host isn't just hiding in Blackreach now. They're mounting an invasion, and this appears to be their primary staging ground. I expect they're stockpiling witch pikes, grey reliquaries, and other supplies here, including the refined brew.
Coastal?
From what I can tell, the camp on the northwest coast is where the Coven first made landfall from Icereach. It's as close to a home base as they've got. They've established themselves there, so I'd expect it to be well defended, if not fortified.
Why do you think they're making these medallions then?
The communique mentioned orders to produce more of those medallions, probably to keep pace with the increase in Harrow Storms. I can't guarantee this is the coastal camp where the orders were sent, but it's the only one on the map.
And what about the camp in Blackreach?
That's the one we know the least about. But it's where a lot of the Grey Host's warlords are gathering, at least according to the communique. It's the best place I can think of where we can get a look at those orders the Ashen Lord mentioned.
Alright. So 3 places to look.
Just arrived. Don't worry, I found something to keep me occupied. A bold move setting up camp in the midst of the Western Holds. I'll say this for the Grey Host. They aren't afraid to draw attention to themselves. I learned a few things while I was waiting for you to show up.
Kind of things.
It's just as we thought. The Grey Host is using this camp as a supply depot for their raids across the countryside. I saw stacks of witch pikes, rows of reliquaries, and jars of what I assume is the refined netherroot brew.
Ben needs the netherroot brew for his elixir anyway, so grab it.
Right. And I heard the camp leader, a nasty creature named Sableye, tell his troops to make sure to use the new supply that just arrived from Blackreach. Let's go grab a jar or two.
Alright, let's go in.
It's taking everything I have not to grab one of those reachmen between my teeth and shake them to pieces. Those disgusting eyeless things around Blackreach.
No jars in this cart. Let's try another one.
Right into the cart.
I love how we just kind of lean from side to side.
There? Is it there? No. Here? Uh-oh.
Stop them, my packmates. I'll give this brew to the...
Sableye has the brew. Let's find him before he gets away.
Take that.
Get him!
I just imagine the Khajiit having a war cry that just sounds like a tiniest mew.
Meow! Meow, meow!
Exactly.
Geppetto!
Or like an Alfie.
Disappointed!
Nope, not that one. Voices.
You got a jar of the refined brew?
You know what the Grey Host does with spies. We eat them.
What do they do again? They eat what?
Right?
Yes?
Luck was with us. If we had reached this camp even a few moments later, Sableye would have gotten away with the Netherroot brew.
Always in the nick of time, huh? Well, looks like this jar we found is the same jar we found in Tizek's laboratory, so we should be good, right?
After all this trouble, Fen better be able to use it to make his elixir. I'll take the jar of refined Netherroot brew to Solitude. We'll meet up in Svanna's chambers when everyone gets back from their missions. I hope they're all right.
Oh, you seem to go and follow them, huh?
Fen has proven himself, especially after what happened in Blackreach. House Ravenwatch, they're unusual as far as bloodsuckers go. As for Svanna, she's braver than I originally thought. Anyway, meet me in Solitude after you finish up.
What else do I need to do here?
In addition to the refined Netherroot brew, Fen needs information on the Ice Reach Coven medallions. Plus, we're hoping to learn more about the big storm the Grey Host has planned. Help Fen and Svanna at the other camps, then meet me in Solitude.
Alright.
Ah, good. I was hoping you'd show up.
Really?
Huh?
Ben.
Ah.
Lyris was right. This camp is crawling with the Ice Reach Coven.
Mhm.
And they're definitely producing the medallions here.
Mm-hmm,
I was able to slip away with one. We need to get closer, though.
Closer?
There's more to figuring out this magic than just watching from afar. I need to know exactly how they go about creating them. With your help, we can learn everything about that here in this camp.
What's so special about this camp, then?
It's a landing site for the boats coming from the island of Ice Reach. Plus, they're collecting something here that goes into the process of creating the medallions. If you can get me to the center of the camp, I can learn what that is.
Alright, well, let's get you in the center then.
Determining how they create these medallions will be an enormous help. The Grey Host has accelerated their plans. They need more medallions for a reason. A big harrow storm is coming. We need to be ready.
Why do you think we can learn more in the camp, though?
Because the Grey Host is guarding something down there. I couldn't get close, but it appeared that they built the camp to surround something. Plus, I heard a few of the witches talking. Complaining, really. About needing to prepare more medallions.
Do you know? Can you tell me more about the Grey Host?
In the First Era, an army of vampires and werewolves tried to conquer the land before they were stopped in Bankurai. They called themselves the Grey Host. It seems this Rada al-Saran has resurrected the army, both figuratively and literally.
Alright, time to go down, wreck some shit.
He's-
Corpses. What do they have to do with the medallions?
Fill the sky like
Let's examine the nearby graveyard. Examine the headstones. Let's determine what's so special about the exhumed bodies.
Heroes Brokel, beloved son herder, died in his sleep. Old to Skyrim. Heroes Herbert, son of a Ryle chief killer, and as old as the hills, his warriors born, he passed in the privy with help of a heaping of scorn. Unknown, traveling merchant, run through by bandits, his daughter of Skyrim,
To the medallions.
saw old and wise.
We need to be ready when the time comes.
Lika the corpulent, old as the hiss, mother of Murkmire, scholar of our ways, she died of heartbreak. Beneath the stone lies Harold the bastard, a tired old wastrel, a brother of Jor, lay about in life, who froze in a blizzard.
Finished? Have you come to any conclusions?
They're all old.
Yeah.
Well, We've both been over the headstones with a fine-toothed comb. If we can determine why the Coven dug up these particular bodies, it will tell us something about how the medallions were enchanted.
Alright, let's discuss it.
Of course. Compare notes and look for commonalities. You have the makings of a fine scholar, my friend. Now, let's see. I noticed there were a mix of different races buried here. They weren't all Nords. Anything strike you about the departed?
They all had something common when they're alive.
Really? What was that?
Same gender? No. Same kind of work? No, not really.
Which headstones did you examine? I read about laborers, soldiers, and traders. Not the same occupations at all. There must be something else the exhumed bodies had in common.
Discuss it.
Of course.
Oh, they died.
They did. Tell me more.
Yeah, there they are. They were all old when they died. There we go.
Of course. Why didn't I see that? The headstones on the exhumed graves all mentioned that the person was old when they died. Let me think. Some necrotic spells require the remains of the elderly. Something to do with the natural decay of life.
Natural decay?
According to one necromantic theory, the older a living thing becomes, the more necrotic energy it naturally acquires. As a body grows old and withers, the life inside it decays. Necrotic energy is the byproduct of this deterioration.
So does that tell you how to make the medallions then?
I now know enough about how they create the medallions to move my research along. I'll return to the Blue Palace and start putting an elixir together.
What else do you need me to do?
To fully craft an elixir to defend against the Harrow Storms, I still require a sample of refined netherroot brew. Plus, we need to determine what the Grey Host has planned. Help Lyris and Savannah at the other camps. Then meet me at the Blue Palace.
Oh, we took a sample of the netherroot brew. Lyris should be bringing it back to Solitude right now.
I'm glad to hear it. That just leaves finding out what the Grey Host has planned. Go meet Savannah at the camp in Blackreach. I can't say I envy you. While Blackreach provides some fascinating points of study, the dangers appear overwhelming.
By the way, did we send the princess to the most dangerous part of this mission?
Totally. Without realizing anything.
I think I would have realized it when you said, take the princess and send her down to Blackreach. No, don't send her to an area where she could flee to one of the nearest holds. You know, don't send her to the camp that's up to the left there with the whole contingent of guards to kick these guys out. No, send her down to Blackreach where no one knows where it is and, like, you have no backup if anything happens. She's never been here before either.
Right.
She's literally never been here.
Then I don't know. Maybe they thought she offended if that they didn't let her go to.
How did she find her way down here? Like, Lyris and Fen were the ones with us before. They're the ones who came down here. Like, my head, it hurts.
Maybe they drew her a little map with crowns.
I guess.
I don't know.
I think they just handed her a bottle, said, here, go follow these directions, get drunk, you'll be there in no time.
Exactly.
It's the Nord version of The Hangover.
Free! God damn it, run! Damn these Harrow Storms and what they do to my people! I came here to learn what the Grey Host has planned, and what did I find? Good citizens of the Holds, afflicted by the Harrow Storms and kept prisoner for some ungodly purpose. No matter how many I set free, the Herald will not leave this place.
Have you had an opportunity to scout it?
That's all I've been doing, and trying to get these afflicted people to leave this place. The Herald, the storm robs them of their will, their minds. I wasn't able to slip deeper into the camp, though.
We need to find out we need to find out about this big storm here coming.
Agreed. There appear to be a number of Grey Host warlords in the camp, so discovering their plans should be possible. We need to be careful, though. I don't want us to wind up like the Herald, serving as food for these bastards.
Tell me what you're noticing about the scout. Tell me what you noticed when you scouted the camps.
Messages have been coming and going since I arrived. I've heard the name Rada al-Saran, the Ashen Lord, spoken in hushed and revered tones. His name was on the communique you found, remember? We need to get down there and see what else we can learn.
Wonder what they're doing down here.
Hiding, building their forces, digging, undermining. That's the correct term, I think. Plus, they're collecting the Herald, herding them like cattle. It's monstrous what they're doing to these poor people.
Are you sure you should be down here, princess?
The only thing I'm sure of is I have to try. If my father won't act, then it falls on me to get things done. It's what my mother would want me to do.
All right.
I love how we ask her if she should be down here.
I know. I feel like that Lyra should have come down here, and she should have gone up to the werewolves.
Yeah.
Or send on Mog.
Yeah.
Look, on the scaffold. Let's eavesdrop on those werewolves.
Spy.
I left the orders in my tent, but the Ashen Lord was clear. We need more netherroot. See to the undergrove immediately.
As you command, Pintock.
The undergrove? That sounds important.
Spy, 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 spy. Like, I understand not sending a troop contingent down here, but...
Yeah.
Let's listen to them.
Exarch Zingalis has fallen. I have never seen Rada el-Saran, our Ashen Lord, so filled with sorrow, or such rage.
Does the loss of the Exarch alter our plans?
Not in the least. The strike on Solitude will occur as planned after Exarch Ulfra tests the improved ritual in the Undergrove.
I wonder what they're planning. Oh yeah, we already know. Story time. Grey Host orders. My beloved kin, I have no words. Tizax is dead. His killer retreated in the shadows. Doubtless they mean to harry us in our righteous labor. Already they have been whispers and seeking to stop the spread of the Herald. I will not abide any further threats to our goal. My family will be delivered from their torment. And even Molag Bal himself cannot stop me. To that end, we must accelerate our efforts. All preparations regarding this attack on Solitude must be completed post-haste. To that end, make sure that everything is required for the work of the Undergrove is ready. The location is hidden in the secured inside of the ancient barrow, which fell into the earth for just this purpose. It makes us the perfect testing ground for the next stage of the Aerostorms. Exarch Ulfray shall lead the efforts and prepare the way for the final Aerostorm. Grey Host is victorious. Rada al-Salim, the Ashen Lord.
That's what we were looking for. Let's talk over there. Orders from Rada al-Saran. He's chilled on my spine. Their plan for Solitude? It might even be more dreadful than an all-out attack. We need to get back and determine the exact location of this Undergrove place.
Do you think Solitude's really in danger? Yeah, we already know they're making an attack here, right?
You saw what happened at Kilcreath and Carthwatch. Whatever they have planned for Solitude, it sounds a whole lot worse.
Oh, you just teleported in and out there. He makes it sound like it's considered he considers his army to be his family then.
A family of monsters? Who could imagine vampires and werewolves working together? Let alone talking about one another like brothers and sisters. It's not natural.
Well, what's to say any of this is natural? Well, hopefully the odors we found will give us some advantage, right?
I'm glad I got to look around Blackreach, but I can't wait to see the sun and sky again. No matter how big these caverns are, it still feels like we're buried alive down here.
What else do you mean to do?
We came down here to find out what the Grey Host has planned. But Fen still needs information about how the medallions are created, and a sample of the refined netherroot brew. Help Fen and Lyris at the other camps. Then meet me in Solitude.
Already done.
Then we're done here. I hope we found enough to end the threat of the Grey Host. I'll meet you back at the Blue Palace. Good luck, my friend.
Mm-hmm. She teleported in and out for me there.
I'm watching her to wait and see. She's not moving for me.
Oh, you're staying there now. Right, teleporting to Solitude.
Yes.
Also, Zero, thanks for the hosting, man. Now, have you ever seen Underworld?
Yes.
Does this have any reference to that movie? Like, do you see any like hidden gems or call-outs to it?
I mean, aside from Finn, no. Unless I'm missing something.
Well, I never watched the series. I was just wondering, like, because we had this whole vampire werewolf alliance. I thought there might have been like a call-out or two to it, to those movies, like a hidden reference somewhere.
Yeah, there might be something I'm missing too.
You can teleport on me. Mm-hmm. And every time I see the gloom spore bounce, what do those have to do with? What does that have to do with Blackreach? I don't get it.
Nothing.
I'm not saying they don't look nice.
They look pretty cool, but I think they would have done better in like another chapter.
Or the DLC.
Yeah.
So, do we have a way to defend against the Harrow Storms or what?
The elixir should do what we need, provided neither Fen nor I made any miscalculations.
Yolen, don't be so negative. The elixir will work. You'll see.
You'll see. That's not good. Wait.
Yeah.
Norian has an amazing mind. His thoughts and theories wind up in the most interesting places. Go ahead. Talk to him and see for yourself. An amazing mind.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Oh, good. You're back. Mjolin and I have been discussing the various ways to turn what we've got into a protective elixir. I'm hesitant to get too excited, but I think we've figured out how to defend against the Harrow Storms.
Alright, tell me what you're thinking.
The Grey Host uses an unstable mix of alchemy and sorcery to create the Harrow Storms. An arcane ritual and the Netherroot brew focus the power of each Harrow Storm through the prepared witch pikes. Ingenious, but fully exploitable.
How so?
We can use the refined brew as the basis of our elixir. Now that we understand how the Herostorms are created, we can use those same components to replicate the medallion's protective properties. We just need to gather the necessary components.
How can I help? As if I didn't know that I had to go on a collection spree.
Svana's associate, Mog, will procure most of the supplies I need, but there's one final ingredient required. For various reasons, I can't simply walk into the Hall of the Dead and claim it myself. I need you to acquire Arkay's sacred oil.
Sacred oil?
A holy ointment associated with a god that became popular due to imperial influence. It's used by the priests in the Hall of the Dead to provide protection against necromancy and the undead. We need that oil to create our elixir.
Alright. Savannah?
Knowing the orders my father has been issuing of late, you might need my help to acquire Arkay's sacred oil. I'll meet you at the Hall of the Dead.
Now that makes sense to bring you along.
You
Mog?
need my help. I'll meet you at the Hall of the Dead. Mog, put away the
Svana's
tankard and
giving
get the
orders.
supplies and require-
Thinks she's a proper princess now, she does. Well, I am an expert at procuring all sorts of procurements. Pale elf needs. After I finish this drink. For medicinal purposes, you understand.
I understand, yeah, totally. Yes?
Go ahead. Get what Fen needs from the Hall of the Dead. I'll make sure Mog follows through on procuring the rest of the supplies. He can be easily distracted in case you haven't noticed.
Mm-hmm.
To the Hall of the Dead with you. Hurry along! Ingert still serves as High Priest, I believe. We're much the same, he and I. Yet he gets the fancy temple. And I get a hut in the woods.
Oh, a little salty there. Old Miyoji is a little salty.
Just a little bit. I get the feeling Finn doesn't like Mog.
I don't think he hates him.
Just the way he said his name, it's like he doesn't like him at all.
I just like the smell of, doesn't like the smell of the brew on his breath.
Yeah. It's like, I was just thinking, what would happen if Finn touched the oil? Like, would he just, like, burn?
Would I burn?
I mean, would you?
As long as I'm not, like, bathing myself in it.
What do you want?
I like how Finn put it this. A god that got popularized by the Imperials.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't exactly trust it or have, like, much respect for it.
Yeah.
Guards, more refugees arrive by the hour. Why does Fargrim hesitate?
Oh, hi.
The High King issues orders, but all they do is lock away the afflicted. When will we strike back?
Hey, Earl.
The Herostorms continue to
Like
ravage
now?
our land, filling the city walls with people crying for protection. And what does the High King do? Next to nothing. Oh, he makes small gestures, but still things worsen.
I thought the High King agreed to help the holds.
So he has. But have soldiers been sent to Morthal? Has aid been dispatched to Garthald? No, not yet. Svargrim helps the people that flow into the city, while the rest of Western Skyrim suffers. We must find the perpetrators and attack.
I hope the words of the High Priest would offer some comfort, but no. The poor man seems more in need of solace than the faithful of solitude, and still the refugees pour in. My Jarl dead, our hold destroyed, and the High King does almost nothing.
Princess Savannah was planning to help the people.
The princess. Can we really trust that troubled young woman? After everything you did in Carthwatch, I suppose I must. If you and Svana truly have a way to help, please be quick about it. I feel we're running out of time.
Here we go.
What can I do for you, Your Highness?
Listen to my friend, High Priest. We need your help.
Hello.
I'm surprised to see the princess here. As you can see, the influx of refugees has made this place much more hectic than usual. Is there something I can do for Princess Svanna?
Yeah, we need Arcee's sacred oil.
Sacred oil? Strange. That's the second time today someone has come seeking Arcee's anointing balm. Sword Thane Athlet arrived with an edict from the king. Demanded our entire supply.
What?
How we're to consecrate the dead without it, I have no idea.
Why did the High King want all the oil?
The Sword Thane wouldn't say. He just mentioned that the High King needed it to defend Solitude. I'm sorry I can't comply with the princess's request. Things are hard enough that these refugees must take shelter here among the dead.
Do you know where the Sword Thane took it?
The Sword Thane took the oil to Castle Dower. That's where all the supplies for a siege are gathered during periods of strife. I pray that High King Svargrim receives the patience and wisdom required to see us through this crisis.
Maybe about the castle.
Solitude's foundation began with the construction of Castle Dower. It's the oldest structure in the city, and the most defensible. I tried to move the refugees there for safekeeping, but my request was denied. The High King has other plans, I suppose.
I need another drink like I need a hit.
May Arcade drive back the darkness forevermore.
He wants to cure me of my vampirism.
Same. He wants me to cure the werewolf. No. I must bork forever.
I don't know where this plot is going, but I have some suggestions to changing it if they ever. Well, we're not gonna get that change, but
yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
Hold! Castle Dower is Princess Svanna.
Sword Thane, our business is urgent. My friend will explain.
Hey, Sword Thane.
I don't have time for the princess's proclivities right now. The High King... We barely keep up with the multitude of tasks, so speak quickly and let me get back to it.
Yeah, we need some sacred oil. Princess needs some here.
My orders from the High King were clear. Stockpile the entire supply of sacred oil in the Temple of the Divines here within the confines of Castle Dower. What in Shore's name does the princess need with holy oil anyway?
We were trying to work on an elixir to protect against hailstorms, but it requires the oils.
Protection? Truly? The Herald already outnumber my soldiers, and more arrive every day. Still, giving you the oil would violate the High King's edict. I suppose if I happened to look the other way for a moment, I wouldn't notice if a flask disappears.
I get you.
A single flask? Then we'll have to make do. Let's get it back to...
Sword Thane, why his work? I gave strict orders, yet my daughter freely enters the castle grounds. What do they want, Sword Thane?
We came to offer our assistance, Father. Sword Thane, how can we help?
Athlet has everything well in hand, child. Despite your intentions, you would only hinder our efforts. Go! The Sword Thane doesn't need my daughter or her wastrel underfoot.
Rude.
Away with you! We're much too busy for Svanna's frivolous notions.
You try my patience. Take the princess and leave here immediately.
the king's such a butthole, man.
I like the fact that the Sword Thane's just like, you try my patience. Get the fuck out of here, man. Go back to where you came from.
My father's never been what I'd call a warm and caring parent. But this crisis has made him even more distant. Let's get this sacred oil to Fen. My father will certainly change his attitude once we present the protective elixir to him.
Why does your father want us in, why doesn't he want you in Castle Dower?
He's trying to protect me. It's what he does. And leave me out. Though I suppose that's mostly my own fault. I know Mother's death weighs on him, as does this entire crisis. That's why we have to help. This elixir is going to work. It has to.
Why seal off the old fortress?
It's not that unusual. Castle Dower is the most defensible part of the city. In the past, we'd gather the people inside the walls. Now my father is using the fortress to house the Herod. They need to go somewhere, right? Come on, let's go.
I don't quite get why he's housing the Herod in there when it's the most defensible spot in the... You know, like if you're gonna lay down a siege, you know the Herod are already fucked anyways. Wouldn't you put them someplace outside of the defensible area?
Yeah. Like, don't they have, like, you know, a giant dungeon like most places do?
Or put them in the Halls of the Dead or something like that? Like, put them someplace... I understand you keep them out of sight, but you want to put them away from your bunker, right?
Yeah.
You don't have, like, a bunch of people, like, inflicted with zombieism, like, in your protective bunker during a zombie attack. No, you put them outside there.
Use them as meat shields.
Exactly.
Once it's ready, I'll test the elixir.
As you say, Lyris. Ah, here they come now. You have the
Why
sacred oil?
Why is he at?
To the cauldron.
Why is she gonna test it? This is bad.
Oh no, Lyris.
Yes, a perfect fusion. It's ready to be tested.
Don't do it,
Let's
waifu.
talk. With the addition of the sacred oil, the elixir is complete. Before we produce enough to distribute to the people of Western Skyrim, we need to test it. I'm confident of my work, but we're dealing with powerful forces here.
How do you plan to test it?
We can't wait for the next Harrowstorm to strike. But what you and Svanna learned in Blackreach might help. You heard that Exarch Ulfra was testing Harrowstorm rituals in a place called the Undergrove. We'll go there and let Lyris drink the elixir.
Right, okay, the orders mentioned the Undergrove, hidden in an ancient barrel, right?
During my explorations of Blackreach, I came across an ancient burial site, a place called the Midnight Barrow. This Undergrove...
So many barrows.
...those ruins. Once there, you and Svanna keep watch from a safe distance, while Lyris steps into the storm.
Alright, I guess we're going in.
From what I could tell, the Midnight Barrow sank into Blackreach in the distant past. Somewhere in its chambers, we'll find the Undergrove. The ruined barrow is in the Lightless Hollow, in the northwest portion of the cavern. We'll meet you there.
How are we gonna test it?
We're going to find an active Harrowstorm in the Undergrove, or I'm going to attempt to replicate one in there. Then Lyris drinks the elixir, exposes herself to the dark magic, and we wait to see what happens.
Sounds very risky.
Very risky. But it's also our best chance to counter the Harrowstorms and fight back against the Greyhost. Either Lyris comes through fine, or she transforms into a Herod. Or a Harrow Fiend. That's also a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Blackreach again, and a flask of foul-smelling elixir waiting to be guzzled down. Oh, joy.
But
Explosion.
she said she'd do it, but she's complaining about it.
If I were a little
He always complains.
I'd love to go with you.
Sure.
Do a little exploring. Ah, well. I suppose I'll stay here in the palace. Work on how to create more of the elixir once we know it's safe.
This has to work. The safety of my people depends on it. Besides, I don't want to see Lyris get hurt.
Oh. Good, Zero. It doesn't quite show us, but I'm gonna guess it's the left chamber. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this plot, but I'll tell you what I would have changed right off the bat. I would not have killed the mother off. I would have instead made it so that she was like the main one who wanted to keep separated from East Skyrim, and then made the husband and the sword thane like the hidden antagonists.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sort of like a reference back to Harkham.
Yeah.
And what he would be trying to do would be trying to like do the whole ritual thing and then mess it up.
Yeah. But like how mess it up? Like in a bad way or like
I need to pay for all the expansions, or can I play all? If you get ESO Plus, basically you can play whatever you want for the month that you have ESO Plus. Go into any DLC area except for Greymoor. Chapters, you have to pay for it outright. After a year a chapter's been out, it goes over to ESO Plus so you can play it. Is it here? Did I get it right? No.
it's the Midnight Barrel's here, right?
Is it? Or did it mess up? I might have messed up. See, this is back to Dust Town here. I really hate the way they handle this here. Oh, it's the Delve. Remember the, do you remember the one where we got that woman's...
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, that woman's father and all that stuff? Alright.
Yeah.
Or not her father, her ancestor. Alright, I'm teleporting to the right place now.
Yeah.
Alright, teleport on me. Yeah, they mentioned the Lightless Hollow, and I thought it was probably around the same area.
Oh shit. I fell off.
Oh jeez.
Where we had to find that stupid instrument.
Yes, yes. Or it's never all that simple.
Yeah.
Though I think ESO Standard does come with Morrowind now. And if you do buy Greymoor, you get all other chapters without having to pay for ESO Plus.
You and Fen stay put until we clear a path to the Undergrove.
Fine. Just don't take all day.
They all came.
Ugh, I hate being treated like I need protection. But Lyris is right. Fen and I will just get in the way if a battle breaks out. Clear us a path to the Undergrove. Then we'll catch up with you.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. You and Lyris deal with any hostiles and find the Undergrove. Then we can finally test the elixir.
Alright, let's go big giant guinea pig.
Yes.
It's her new name, guinea pig.
Guinea pig. She would make a cute guinea pig.
Pounce.
DED. Rip.
Spank him in the butt.
Yes.
Don't go through the middle. Don't go through the middle.
Ninja.
Ninja, rap.
This must be the place. I'll go back and
need.
get...
We're here.
The princess insisted.
We followed at a safe distance and only advanced after you cleared the way. From this point on, we stay together. And that's an order.
Yes. What she said. Now, let's enter the Undergrove.
So the princess is going to be exposing herself to a Harrowstorm as well.
Yeah. The princess is dumb.
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 I think you're smarter when she's drinking.
Yes. I think all Nords are.
You think one of the plans that came up when they're drunk is like, Sonny, gonna go outside and go punch the Harrowstorm. That'll end it.
We need to find where they're experimenting with the Harrowstorms.
I wonder what Rickert would do.
Make a fantastic feast. Don't know.
Grey Host, stay quiet and listen.
This Harrowstorm must be the biggest we have ever wrought, my sister-in-arms.
That's the leader of the Grey Host.
Have we heard from Solitude? Is everything in place?
I have been assured the city is ripe for harvest.
Rada al-Saran and Exarch Ulfra. Should we postpone the test?
Certainly not. The holds are counting on us. Besides, we might be able to end this threat right here and now. We need to test the elixir, but maybe we can put an end to the Grey Host here and now by taking out 2 more of its leaders. It's a long shot, I know, but we have to try.
2 Grey Host leaders. This is an opportunity we can't let slip away.
This is a bad idea. We barely got out of Zingalis's clutches with our lives, and now Svanna wants to take on 2 of them. It's madness.
Oh, Fed's a scared boy.
Yeah. But Finn, look, you have us. What could go wrong?
You have tall woman with axe. Fine.
Exactly.
Who dares intrude? You. The murderers who killed our beloved Singalis.
And you're about to join him.
Impudent mortal! You will pay for your crime. Now for the rest of these curs.
Uh-oh.
My king.
Lyris, get up.
The honor of spilling their blood.
Very well.
I think she's breathing.
Join me in Greymoor.
She should be.
When the task is done.
Let this Harrowstorm flay the flesh from your bones.
Svanna, no!
See to Lyris, Finn, and pray your elixir works.
Protect Svanna.
You killed my
It's time for the elixir to do its
that
job.
you die.
Worked.
Okay, so it worked on Savannah, but like Lyris is sitting directly into it too. Did she have any of it?
That one guy, he zapped Lyris with something. I don't know what it was.
Svanna's as stubborn
The
as a
same red
Skyrim
lightning
winter,
that they hit Finn
but
with.
she's definitely got the blood of a Jarl coursing through her veins. I'll be fine. Go check on the princess.
Yeah, but like Lyris is sitting right here in the middle of all this here, right?
Right.
Did she have any of that elixir?
I don't think she did.
You okay?
I think it worked. I stood in a Harrowstorm and nothing happened. Fenn's elixir is a success.
Neither did Finn,
And he took
now
out
that I
another
think
one
about
of the
it.
Grey Host leaders.
Fenn's a vampire.
My friend.
Touche.
He doesn't have a soul, or at least his soul's bound to a different place in Oblivion, so yeah, it doesn't work on him, he's dead.
Touche.
Are you sure that you'll be alright?
Never better. We need to create as much of the elixir as possible and distribute it throughout Solitude before Rada al-Saran's massive Harrowstorm hits. I also want to find out who in the city is helping him. Let's meet back at the Blue Palace.
Reach to the Blue Palace.
Once my father understands that we have a way to protect against the Harrowstorms, he'll have to take us seriously. Let's get back to the city as fast as we can.
What happened here, anyways?
I know, right? It happened so quickly. When we confronted Rada al-Saran and Exarch Ulfra, the vampire lord blasted Lyris with his magic. When I saw her fall, I knew I had to act.
Took down Lyris instantly, though. Leaving behind the rest of the werewolf leaving the rest to a werewolf that worked in our favor, I guess. As every villain ever does.
It certainly gave us a fighting chance. When she called forth the Harrow Storm, I grabbed the elixir from Lyris and barely thought about what I was doing. I just drank it down and walked into the storm.
It's kind of risky, right?
I don't disagree, but somebody had to do it. There wasn't any other option. And I'd do it again. My people are counting on me.
Mm-hmm. What?
So, there were rumors that Lyris might be a werewolf, right?
A wolf? Well, then why would she agree to this plan? She would have known that she was already immune, right?
Touche. Maybe she doesn't want nobody to know.
I guess.
I don't know, it was just a rumor, but like, what if?
I mean, it's a fine theory, I just already know that. Well, you could also say that the other thing could have been an act where she was talking about the pack mates, but I mean, werewolves always know other werewolves, right?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe?
Yeah, and she didn't, like, she was like talking, that other guy was like, who's that tall lady? Not like another werewolf or anything like that, so.
What if he didn't want you to know or something? I don't know.
We gotta go back to Blue Palace, I think? Yep. In the port.
What if he knew, but he didn't know?
We didn't say?
Like, he knew, but, like, unintentional, like...
And then
like
she
he
just...
was drawn to her because, like, she is, but, like, he doesn't know.
And then she was just like, oh, he's a werewolf? I didn't know that. I fucking hate werewolves.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think she'd be able to keep it up that well. I think she would tell us.
I don't know.
Especially you. You're a werewolf anyways.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bark. But, like...
I teleport on me, too.
Wasn't she supposed to be in the Companions? Or something like that?
I think she... Well... I don't think the Companions is a group there that formed, and I think eventually it forms like a Fighters Guild, but not what we know today.
Touche.
I think it forms a basis, but eventually becomes werewolf inclusive. How'd I get off?
Very carefully.
Asking why.
Well,
I don't know. Because, like, in the trailer, somebody, like, said something like she had a companion pin, and I was like,
Could be where she gets infected.
Touche.
To your daughter, Svargrim. We need to do something.
Don't test me, Redharn. I know exactly what I need to do. Our enemies circle ever closer, and now even my daughter turns against me. What's next? Will my beloved wife return to accuse me of some heinous crime? Well, get to it. Tell me about Svana's miraculous elixir before I have the lot of you tossed out.
Elixir works. Not a tester herself withstood a Harrowstorm.
You represent my most hated enemy and expect me to believe a word you say? Even if you speak true, worms have found purchase in the wood and seek to rot my kingdom from within. I will not let Solitude and the Western Holds fall.
Can't trust us. Trust your daughter, maybe.
Trust Svana. Perhaps. No! Your honeyed words are but echoes of my most obstinate foes. You offer a miracle with one hand, while holding a poison dagger in the other.
Hey, we're only trying to help.
Help! I need no help from the likes of you.
Don't be a fool, father. This elixir will save our people.
I didn't think you had it in you, daughter. You have actually surpassed my expectations, more's the pity. and I'll hear no more talk of this miracle elixir.
Father, no!
The Grey Host is my true ally. Once the Harrow Storm engulfs Solitude, my kingdom will endure for all eternity.
I should have sensed it. Svargrim's a vampire.
Svanna.
Not now, Lyris. I need to think about this.
I suspected it,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I dislike the entire play to that. Like, he didn't... It would have been more entertaining to have him, like, transform or something else like that, and, like attempt to, like, sacrifice his daughters and his wife to it, but no.
Yeah.
Svargrim's a bastard, but King Yoren believed he had the best interest of his people at heart. Obviously, something changed. And with Solitude targeted for a massive Harrow Storm, things have gotten more complicated.
With Stargrim's help, the Grey Host is already prepared to summon the Harrow Storms, right?
Not everything is as grim as it appears. We did create an elixir. That's our best chance of protecting the people from the Harrow Storm. We just need to distribute it. In the meantime, take this. It may not seem like much, but you earned it.
It isn't much. Thank you.